Aloha, all you money makers. This is Indar Lang, and I'm your Hawaii money guy. We're gonna talk about buying a business. This is a super exciting topic to me today, or this week, or whatever, because I am buying a business myself, and I have 4 other businesses that we're growing and running. So, buying a business. Let's talk about how to analyze it, how to do it, and how to grow your own business. Let's dive in, and maybe you guys get a little tricks and tips of the trade and some ninja tips. So let's do it. Let's go. So let's talk about this. So buying a business is actually an easier thing technically. So a lot of people, it's kind of become a new hot topic because it takes a lot of work to build a business and to start it from ground up and to build clients and build revenue and just structure and build a business. It's actually a lot easy to buy something that's already established. And actually, we'll get into it a little bit later, but you can actually get really good loans for it. Literally, you can buy businesses with no money out of your pocket. We're buying one right now just the same exact way. We're actually buying, so where we're at now, and just kind of qualify ourselves, we have what's our companies we have? We have a lot. I actually have technically 14 registered companies, but 3 working businesses. So we have our Hawaii co-working space here for you guys. If you guys need some office rentals, some space, meetups, podcast rooms, we have all kinds of stuff. Day desk, part-time. So we built that business, and that business has a whole structure to it. We have a beautiful web page. We have marketing that goes into it. Of course, all our social media pages. Huge one we'll talk about here. Our business, Google My Business page, super important to have for every business. Verified it and build that up. We have staff, employee, and everything. So that's on its own. We have that business kind of running on its own. Hopefully breaking even soon, but it's growing. It's growing. We just opened that up. So we have Hawaii co-working. Then we also have our real estate moneymakers education platform. So we have a school with students, and we'd love for you guys, anyone else interested in joining our school and program. We teach about real estate, about flipping in high-end markets. We flip in Hawaii. So we teach, and we have that school. And we have that whole program, that whole business built up. Ella actually runs that pretty much on her own. I mean, I help out, but Ella, who's been with me forever, is amazing and built that, and we're building that business and actually trying to grow that one right now as well. So that's its own side business. Then my first business I ever started was our home investments. I don't even talk about that anymore. But our home investments was my first business I ever started. I started from nothing. I built from not knowing what I was doing. I tried out different web pages. Been through 4 different web pages, I think, by now on that thing. And all kinds of funny, weird, different business things, from a jingo to business. What do we have? Stuff you didn't even need. We had a business plan I thought was really important. I had this huge elaborate business plan that somebody helped me make and build, and all kinds of things, or different logos and signatures and all kinds of stuff that really today it's not that important. Really, it's just register your company, get it going, and work on some of the other higher end stuff, marketing and sales inside of it all. So that was my first business, Hawaii, our home investments, and that's our flipping page. That's where we flip houses. From there, we started raising capital, and so after a while, and we couldn't bring our investors into our home investments webpage because this is a flipping website. So we stemmed off and we made a capital raise side. So we have White Sands Capital is our other business. In White Sands Capital, we're raising capital, we're finding investors, and we're raising capital to invest in our different fix and flips or commercial deals and whatnot. So then we also have White Sands Capital. And runs on its own. That's just for capital raising. That's where investors invest into that website, or company. And it's all correlated, and they all kind of stem together. Office-wise, we do our all in-house, kind of runs a lot of those businesses together. Those 2 or 3 businesses, they haven't really fully broken away yet. And then we're actually buying buying a property management company, and I'm really excited about that. I actually grew up with working for my dad's construction company, doing building maintenance, very much working under property managers and really doing what the property manager's job was. That was my job, was to make sure I was doing their job, and then they loved us. If they didn't have to do work, we would take over. So I grew up doing property management myself. Never a property manager, more on the maintenance side, but I helped run my dad's company. I should mention I started cleaning toilets from the beginning before all of that, and I had to work my way up. And that's ultimately a great construction company now. He does a lot of commercial construction, and his company's running great. And that's Oahu Building Maintenance. I worked there for years and kind of helped build that business, honestly. And I learned a lot about business working for my dad's company, from bookkeeping and learning about how to do payroll, reconciling bank statements with everything, and help building his business. I never really took on to that because it was always his business, my dad's business. And I never really was kind of interested in taking it over because I always felt like it was his. Um, Probably I'll take that business over and, you know, God, hoping, another 20, 30 years, hopefully. But that's my dad's business that he runs. And it's a very successful company, huge commercial and commercial construction they do a lot of as well. But I learned a lot from being there and being a part of that. And my mom has her own business. My mom has Lang's Acupuncture. She's an acupuncturist and a masseuse. So I guess I grew up in that entrepreneurial world. Both my parents had their own businesses, and I grew up that way. And I just always been a part of my life, I guess. Even from my early age, I remember trying to help my mom, building her website and getting, simple things done for her. So I think I just grew up in that lifestyle. Not by any means a guru or an expert of it. I've just trialed and erred and learned things as I've grown. And today, actually, some of the biggest things I pride myself is I hire coaches to help me. So for Hawaii Co-working, we hired a coach to help us from A to Z to get the whole thing done and get it done right. And I learned a ton having a professional coach involved. I also have another coach that's involved in our bookkeeping and more of the numbers backside of it all. And I've just been learning a ton of having these coaches involved who have businesses, and they're coaching me on, what the ins and outs, and we talk about struggles. And it's exciting because we come together and not necessarily, here's what you do every time, but here's what we're struggling with. Can you help us? Or here's what we're seeing. Can you help us? Here's the numbers. Here's the data. Where's our problem? Or do this to, set it up. Whatever it may be, it's just nice to have a coach, somebody who's been there and done it as well. And shout out to my our Hawaii real estate money making school. If you need a coach, I'm here for you to teach you how to flip. But we have a business coach and friends and mentors as well. So what's it like owning a business? What's the ins and outs of it all? It is a scary process owning a business and running a business because you're ultimately the last to get paid. When you own a business, often you start off as just you. It's just you running it, doing it yourself, and you're struggling. You're kind of the jack of all trades. You're the accountant, you're the bookkeeper, you're doing payroll, you're the lead magnet, you're running sales, and then you're doing project manager and running the actual work and doing the work. So often it's very hard. I actually just got an invoice from my landscaper who he hasn't invoiced me in over, I think, I want to say 7-8 months, because he's, jack of all trades. He's doing it all. He's the landscaper and it's just him, so I know what it's like to struggle when you're trying to do it all. And that's what's hard about it. And that's what's sometimes fun about it. But that's what makes it interesting. For example, if you're a plumber, you go in, you can be the best plumber in the world and you're really great at plumbing and you know how to sweat pipe and solder, but you want to start your own business. It's a whole different animal. You have to learn all over again. You have to learn from scratch. Just because you know how to be a plumber doesn't mean you know how to run a business. It's two completely different things, completely different mindsets, completely different, just totally different ends of the spectrum you wouldn't believe. Some of the cons are when you own your business is, if the business stops, you don't get paid. If you're the last guy, say you have employees, you have to make sure all your employees get paid first, make sure all the bills get paid first, and again, you're the last to get paid. So it's very hard to juggle all of that. When you're just starting off, there is kind of a run rate sometimes we flip a house, for example, we don't get paid till 9 months later. So that's a hard thing. You're used to coming from a payroll getting paid every Friday. You get a paycheck. It's nice to get a paycheck. But imagine when you don't get a paycheck every Friday and you're hoping to get one in 9 months. That's really a big change in lifestyle. And it sounds kind of simple to think, from you, but it is a big difference when you get there and you're doing that and have to figure out a budget. And it's a really different lifestyle to really understand. And then the other biggest thing about it all that you don't really would grasp until you're in it is when you work for a job, that job stops when you go home. That job stops as you leave, as you're off the clock. You're working, trading your time for hours. When you own your own business, there's no such thing as on or off the clock. You're just on. You're on the clock all the 24/7 a day. I wake up at 4:35 in the morning and I'm on the clock. My head's going, my brain's thinking, and I got 100+1 things to get done, and there's no like off the clock. So if you're trying to start your own business to get less work, it's the other way around. You're building something and you have a ton of things to do and a ton of things to learn. Kind of getting into it, you then have to become this jack of all trades, master of none. You start learning about accounting, you start learning about marketing, about sales, how to check your books. You need to know your numbers. You need to make sure no one's stealing from you. You need to watch your profit and loss and your balance sheets every week, manage your bank accounts. Where's the money flowing in? Where is it going out to? It's really critical. And if you're not watching it, no one else is. And that's a huge, huge part of it all. The flow of money and to control the flow of money. There's a really expert guy. I learned something about the huge companies like, whatever, Apple and all these huge companies that have huge flows of money. There's this guy that comes in and they do, it's called aging reports, basically. You know how we're taught to, like, you get a bill, for example, and you pay that bill. That's what you're kind of taught to do, right? But imagine you get a bill and that bill is not due for another, I don't know, a month or 2 months, till the latest period when that bill's due. So that's 2 months out. Instead of taking your money to pay that bill right now, what if you use that money elsewhere to make you money, and then that money was used to pay off, something in 2 more months? So just kind of manipulating the flow of a business is really huge. It's huge to control how and where to spend your money and what needs to be spent money. And if you have no money, we've had a really tough year for ourselves last year. What can we cut off? What can we cut back on? Where can we just focus on the most important things? And first off is make sure the mortgages are paid, and getting just that paid is the number one thing to make sure you're paid, and then get your bills paid, and then pay off any other extras as you have any extra to come in. So the control and the flow of money is really, really big. So back to building your business and building it and starting from scratch. The first thing, of course, is if you're just starting from scratch, to get a company name, get it registered. There's easy ways to do it. The easiest way to do it would to go to the federal website, federal bureau, not federal bureau, but FIN, get an FIN number. It's like your Social Security, but it's for businesses. It's your business FIN number. You can go register and get that and get your name set. It's kind of your first step. And then you can go register the business in a state, preferably register in Nevada, Wyoming, are the two kind of the best ones. Delaware are the best ones to kind of register in for asset protection, and really it's called a corporate veil to really protect you from any lawsuits, as well as for tax savings too. We don't need to get all into that, but that's the simplest way to start your business and the cheapest way. Get a EIN number, then you go register it, or you just register it in your state. For example, if you're here in Hawaii, go register it on the Hawaii Business Bureau. It's like $50 to do it. You're not really protected as much, but maybe your business doesn't need that type of protection, and it could be the easiest way. Now today I just use, it's called Ink Files, but they just changed the name to Bizz, B-I-Z-Z-Z, and I just use that website to register all my companies, and it does it everything there. It's like $200 to $300 per business, and it kind of does everything there for you, which is great. One-stop shop, and I could go on there and check on the businesses. We register a lot of businesses when we have holding companies for different cities and states. So we have other holding companies. I don't want to say the name technically because they're kind of protecting these assets. So we have different LLCs that will register when we're in Wisconsin. We have ones in Indiana, and we have different businesses for each one of these rental properties that we have. And some of them are large rental properties, and you just kind of want them to sit in their own business, and then you create their own bank account. It just creates a separation from everything and protects everything else to kind of keep this separations. When you get more into it, then you have different you'll have a different holding company, and we don't get into all of that stuff. But you can get really technical into it and have an overall company and sub companies under it all. But you're not there yet. If you need to get there, we can talk later. Main thing is just getting something registered and something set up. Even if you're thinking of doing something, just starting the business right away is really important, because then you can start having tax write-offs. Then you can start kind of pushing things to that business. Some expenses and so forth, and maybe some income is possibly, have it go. So get business registered is really important. Then you can get onto fun websites like Fiverr, Fiverr, Upworks, and you can get the fun things like you can get a logo, you can get a business plan if you think you need one. Don't need it. You can get somebody to build you a web page. Go onto GoDaddy, build a web page. Web pages are really important to build. One, it gives credibility to your business. If you're legit, you really exist, you're a real company, even if you're a small time guy. You can even go to GoDaddy and just use their website builder to make something simple, just to have something up there. If you really are trying to grow that business, I would take 2 steps back and focus on that web page and do it right. In 2020 hindsight, now I wish I did, some of my other business web pages right. And some of the key things to building a website, if you want to do it right, is hire a professional website builder. So you're going to have a website builder, and it's good to have a really good person and to have a really professional website, especially if you're getting traffic from that website. Your goal of your business is kind of online. A lot of it, you want to have a good professional website. That could cost you, I don't know, $1 to $3 grand. You can get it cheap if you got somebody on Upworks to do it. Then you'll need a copywriter, and a copywriter is the guy who's doing the text part of it all. So he's going to come up with the text part of your whole website, and the copywriters are really important. Preferably, you could have somebody do both, but you're also going to need SEO. So the copywriter is doing the text, the wordage of it all. Then you're going to have an SEO guy that's going to help really with some of the things to help your business pop out, as well as some marketing things. There's so much things you can do in SEO comes into other marketing, PPC, that's Google. We'll talk about all that kind of marketing stuff in a second here. But you want to have those kind of 3 guys: the website builder, the content guy, and then an SEO guy, and kind of build that site together and really make that site pop. And that's really critical to have a good site. The quality of your site is the quality of your business, because most of the time you don't have a brick and mortar. So you just think of that website as that's your store, that's your office, that's everything. That's your identity of the business, really, especially if you're driving traffic there. Then once you build that website or that business, then you want to start driving traffic. And how do you do that? There's 2 different ways. We're talking about marketing now, is organically and inorganically. So organically, you want to do everything that's possible to help build that business. For example, I'll use our Hawaii co-working space here that we just built. So you get onto Google My Business, and you want to just bling that page out. So Google My Business, there's a ton of little things you can do on there that you should be doing. Get a nice logo, make sure you get your phone number, your address, you're open 24 hours, your services, you want to put all the different services you think you can do. Service locations, so this is a critical one. Maybe you are in Honolulu, but you want to put all the little cities around you that you do services in. Super important. little things like that really go a long way. So having all the services you do in all the different cities, you want to have all the different cities, and then define the services. There's also services and products. So you can also have your products up there. Make sure you just fill it out, even if you are, you don't have a physical product. Have the space. For example, we have different spaces and different things. So having all different products on there. Little hack: get ChatGPT to help make it professional and look right. If you do have an SEO guy, you want an SEO guy to help you with that, because those wordage and those videos, those are that part of your is really critical. Then of course you want to upload a ton of pictures. You want to have other people hopefully upload pictures on there, and then start getting reviews. The whole thing right there, that whole Google My Business, is the most critical thing of any business. We don't say, when you look for a business or look for something, you don't say Yahoo it or look on Bling or anything. You say Google it. Google it. So the importance of Google is huge, and the importance of building your business right on this organic site is really huge, because then it starts to really populate our co-working space here. We only organically built it that way, and we're already getting a lot of searches and a lot of things that way. And we watch it, start monitoring. You want it to pop up on the map searches. You want it to, if you get really technical in it, the business name will start popping up before somebody will type out that whole thing. Or if you ever look on a Google map, you can get your actual business to pop up on the map before anything else. So little things like that are super important, and just utilizing Google and all the different things, the Google Analytics, the Google Cloud, there's the Google Ads, of course, and getting that going. So talking about ads, and since we're kind of we're talking about it for a second. So Google Ads, there's 3 different kind of ads. The best way to think about ads. You can do Facebook and Instagram ads. So that's the Meta AdWords. So Meta is like a shotgun spread of just, you're going to put an ad out there and everyone's going to kind of see it. You want everyone to see it all over Instagram and Facebook. You can kind of try and hone it into as much as you can, but pretty much it's going to everybody. And it's kind of the, I think, number one thing right now, Meta, of course. It's more of a spread of everybody. Then you can get into Google Ads and PPC, pay per click. People are going to be then searching, so more defined. They're searching for your product, your business. They're searching for your co-working company, and they're going to click on that ad, and they're going to possibly look at your business. So you're pay per click. So every time they click, they're charging you for each click. Generally, those clicks can cost from $5 to $70 for a click. So if you ever click on people's sponsored sites on Google, it's costing them. So, just think of that. So when I click on some other people's business, I know it costs them, So if you don't like something, you click on their stuff. No. But that's called pay per click. So pay per click is how you can do your ads. You can do it yourself, but man, nowadays it's good to have a professional guy on there. There's so much detailed stuff they can do there on Google Analytics and all the different services. And I'm finding it's an animal. It's an animal. So the Google My Business pay-per-click is super important to get onto. The other two more big things are called redirecting. So redirecting is great for example, you logged onto Nike's website and you looked at some Nikes, of course, right? But you didn't buy any Nikes. So for the next 30 days, Nike is going to follow you around the website. You go on to, Facebook, you go on to Amazon, whatever websites, and you'll see this little Nike ad in the corners, and they'll see it in the little ad bars and stuff. These Nike. So what they're doing is they're following you, they're redirecting you, they're following you around for 30 days, and it's great because you went to their webpage, but you didn't necessarily buy something, but you're interested in buying something. So they're trying to keep following you until you're ready. I'm here for you, I'm here for you, I'm here for you, until they kind of get you to buy something. Um, it's a really great strategy, I think, and it's good, especially if they say they came to your webpage, you want to redirect and you want to follow them around, the internet. Another huge one is important for us in our co-working space is geofencing, and geotagging is two kind of different things. Geofencing, so if we do ads for everybody that's close within, I don't know, half a mile around us. So everyone close by, we want to just do ads to them, just in our vicinity. So anyone close that is around us, we want to add and try and get them here into our co-working space, into our office, because they're close by. We want them here. And then there's geotagging. Geotagging, if somebody comes to your event and they're at your event and you want to tag them and kind of follow them out elsewhere. It's kind of a little more complicated one. We won't get into that one. But these are some really critical marketing things to do. That's really, really important. And there's a few other insights that, of course, you should be on no matter what. Yelp, TripAdvisor if you do kind of travel industry, of course. But Yelp's a huge one. Nextdoor, and you can do paid ads on Nextdoor. Nextdoor is a great one. It's kind of like a little community kind of type of page. And then any kind of third-party sites that may relate to you. For example, in our co-working, we're on Liquid Space, Peerspace, we're on Anytime Mailbox, and all these other kind of third-party sites that really help with backlinks and kind of bringing more business to us. And these are organically ways to do it. Just be on these other third-party sites. For example, if you have the Airbnb, we have 12 Airbnbs. We are on 12 different websites right now. VRBO, HomeAway, Hotels.com, Whimsley, Airbnb, of course. I don't even know. Booking.com, that's a big one, actually. And a bunch of other little ones. Experian, Marriott Group. There's a bunch. So just treating that business like a business, and you're marketing everywhere. I didn't even mention that business. We have a property management company that we manage our own stuff technically. And you want to just kind of get you out there everywhere to really maximize your footprint. It's actually really important too later on when you're trying to do SEO and trying to market your company, and you want to start doing blogs and things like blogs are super big, of course, and having backlinks to your business. You want to refer. We're not getting into all that stuff, but that's a really big when you get onto online and there's so much stuff you can really, really do. And that's really important to grow the company and do it right. And you know what the hard thing about it all is, because that's called working on your business. The hard thing is, because you should be working for your business, a lot of times you're probably out in the field plumbing and sweating pipe when you should be working on all of those kind of things. I'm guilty of it myself. I have a ton of things I need to do to work on the business, and I haven't got to it. So we are looking at a property management company that we're trying to buy right now, and he's just an old-time guy who doesn't do all that type of stuff. He doesn't have the web presence, doesn't have the strong, out into the 12 different websites for Airbnbs and the marketing and the building of the business. So if you can find a business and you're able to figure out how to better that business, it's almost like a flip. It's almost like you're coming in and you're creating more revenue to build this business. You're making it better than what it's already situated. And so it's already got its base, its structure. It's already got the systems in place, a lot of them. But now you're coming in doing a lot more systems, I should say. You're just bettering a business. It's a little more different, and it's kind of funner to me. It's really exciting. And you can get an SBA loan that literally will cover your whole business. For example, you can get a loan that will cover 80 to 90% of the purchase price. An SBA loan, 7S or 7C, whatever it's called, 7L, SBA 7, I can't even think of it, 7L or 7C, whatever. And that loan itself will cover pretty much most of their purchase price. The SBA wants you to have 10% down or a 10% payment, but then you can get the seller to cover that 10%. And you just do an earn out or payout through the next year, 2 years, 5 years of it all. So as that business makes more money and builds and grows, you're paying him out. And you can pay them out based on one price, or as the business does better. If the business doesn't do better, you set a minimum. There's all different ways you can structure how to pay that seller off of his business. An old timer that may be giving up a business. Some of the best businesses to buy are any kind of business that has a contract or a service agreement. So any kind of business that has a monthly reoccurring charges is the best business to buy. Compared to like a construction company has to keep on looking for the businesses. A flipping company has to keep on looking for flips. A wholesaling company has to keep on looking. There's no reoccurring. If you leave, the business kind of pretty much falls apart. There's a thing called a EBITDA, and we can get into that a little bit. But the simplest way to think of it all is if a business has reoccurring charges, you're able to take over that revenue and make it better. For example, property management, I can go in and take over that reoccurring revenue that's coming in and make a business. It allows you to get a loan because you can now figure out, okay, the business has this coming in every month. These contracts are set in place. They're coming every month. An AC company, landscaping, a plumbing company, they have these reoccurring charges. They're great to buy because of the cash flow is very easy to understand. And SBA loans are very easy to get. Not easy, they're hard, but easier to get. Somebody taught me this quick trick to understand the value of a business. It's not right. You should use, have formulas, and you should use an Excel sheet. But a quick way to evaluate a business, the value of the business, is generally it's a 1x, 2x, or a 3x. So a value of a business, if you look at the earnings, how much he made, normally you should take out his taxes and the owner's pay and stuff like that. You should take it out. But generally what the business makes, if the owner is like heavily involved, that business will not make it another week without that owner in it. He's running everything. It's a 1x multiple. So a quick 1x multiple is, say that business made $500,000 last year in net profits. You're going to buy it for $500,000. Because the owner is really involved and you can't run without it. I should challenge you on that. Would your business fail if you were gone 3 months? Would your business fall apart if you're, in a coma for a year? Would your business struggle or fall apart? And if you're kind of in the business, the owner's kind of in and kind of out of the business, there is some system set in place, and it could maybe last for like 6 months, maybe a 2x multiple really quickly. And then if the business is completely runs really cleanly, doesn't need the owner at all, then it's a 3x multiple. And that's how you can kind of evaluate a business. If it's making $500 a year, 2x is $1 million it's worth, 3x is 3x that. So the business can have a kind of quick valuation of that. Normally you want to get in and have a professional kind of evaluate it and get an EBITDA and all that fun stuff, but we won't need to get into all that fun stuff. It's important to understand, but we don't need to get into it. It's just how well that business runs with or without that owner, and that's really critical to see. You do want to get profit and losses, and you want to look at his income of it all, his net income, and where's all the money. Can I do better here? Can I increase this top line revenue? Can I decrease expenses here? What can I make this business do better by looking at a profit and loss statement? If I come in and put my systems in place, will that cost more? What will this cost? And what am I going to change? So that's what's fun about it all. Where can I do better, and where could I increase this business revenue? And that's what's fun about it. And then you can get a loan and you can build it. But I don't want to take away the fact that when you're buying a business, it's not like just roses and it's easy. If you buy a business, you're all in. Your life is shot out the window. You are, for the next year, you have no life. The business is your life. So don't think you're buying a business, you're just all of a sudden put this, magic systems in place and you won't be involved. If you're amazing, you're great. My buddy Jay, he probably could do that. But I, for example, would not be able to do that. I would be grinding for a year, trying to put everything together, put systems in place, make sure you're overseeing it. Like, you're a jack of all trades. You're going to be doing everything. If you could get it fast enough and systemize it, yeah, maybe. But you're not going to be essentially buying it. And year might be not even close to really what it takes. You're probably 3 to 5 years. and most businesses fail within a year, so you better be on it for that first year. But that's kind of the basics of a lot of all the businesses. Challenges I would face throughout the different businesses is cash flow, is the money flow. Sometimes you have money, sometimes you don't. And I've been flipping for 10 years now, and some years I'm like on top of the world, and some years I'm at the bottom of the world. And because the cash flow of it all and the struggle of keeping ups and downs of any business. Sometimes a business is doing well, sometimes it's not, depending on economy and so forth. So it's your job to figure out how to manage that business and how to manage that flow. Having right people in place. Once you start growing a business and having employees, that's the hugest challenge of it all too as well. Now you have people's lives at stake, not just their lives, their family, their loved ones. You're supporting a lot of people, more than just you. When we flip a house, for example, I don't even think of just employees. I think of all the people we're paying out and supporting. We're paying escrow agents, escrow officers, agents, the Home Depot. We support a lot of Home Depot. All the construction guys that we're paying out and the subs. And there's probably over 100+ people that we're touching. And not just touching them, you're touching their lives, their wives and their kids. So the amount of money that we spend, on real estate, on flips, we spent, I think just shy of 10 million last year in rehabs, and that's $10 million that went back into our economy here in Hawaii. So that's a lot of money that gets injected back into families and societies, and ultimately you want it to stay here in Hawaii. But yeah, that's the biggest challenge of any business. Is then finding good people that you work with. I have Chris behind the camera. She's amazing. She's doing great. She's really taken on to the next level in our social media and our podcast and this whole side. So finding great other people like that. We have a great team of people here. We have Lahaina, who's now running the co-working space. We have Jasmine, who's great, running our White Sands Capital. We have Greg and Kylene, who's handling the admin, the back end, behind the scenes, office stuff and the bookkeeping. We do have Milton, who does our bookkeeping. He's in Texas. And 5 VAs now. I think everyone's got a VA except for me. I need a VA. I'm the only one without a VA. But we have some great virtual assistants. So that's another thing to help your business grow. If you are doing it yourself, I would say the first hire is a VA, to get a virtual assistant, somebody in the Philippines or India. Don't be shy if you're paying, you pay them $100, $200 a week. That's a lot of money to them. Like $100 a week in the Philippines is a lot of money. If they're part-time, depending if they're full-time. And utilize them. They're really great people out there. And you're paying U.S. dollars into their currency, which makes it a lot of money. So our U.S. dollar is strong right now and getting stronger. And it really helps find the right people there. It helps to have virtual assistants, definitely, with all the paperwork. Right now we have Laura, who helps with our Airbnb. She handles all the customer service there. You have Ronald, helps with our video editing and posting on social media. We have Sam, who helps with Hawaii Co-working now. We have Ben, who helps underwrites our flips and helps a couple of different things. Ben does a lot of things there. And I'm missing somebody, I feel like. But and then we have 5 guys in the field, construction guys and so forth. So it's fun running a business and, putting the right people in place and situating them, but it can be very hard and stressful and sleepless nights. So if you're ready for it, become an entrepreneur and take it on. If you're not, don't do it until you have to. 2 ways to start a business is either a top-down model or the bottom-up model. Basically, hire everyone in the right place right from the start. It costs you a lot of money, and can your business sustain it? Hire all the positions, do an ERG chart. An ERG chart will show you each one of those positions. If you are in all those roles, you put your name. If you do have other people, but at least you have an ERG chart to kind of define the business and where it should all be. And you start filling up that chart with people and what their roles are and what they're doing in that business, and try to take yourself out of all of those roles. So ERG chart will really help you define where you want to go and work on your business. One of the first things you should be doing right away to have all the roles in place. Copy somebody else if you don't know. And then building a culture around your company, having kind of a good work atmosphere. I don't know if I do it well or not, but what we try to do is have a really fun atmosphere. We have a great workplace. I mean, I love where we work. I think everyone does too. We have a fun office, cool people to hang around. I like being around other people as well. It's a beautiful office to hang out and be a part of, I feel like. And I try to always give back whatever I can with knowledge, as much as I can, and try to grow a culture and have kind of some core values. Some of the things we always impose is figuring it out. I'm very much opposed to figure things out, and I put a lot of emphasis on people to what they can do and what they can let them do it and let them make mistakes and let them fail and let them figure out, because I want them to fail. I want them to try things. I want them to learn themselves. It's great to help them grow as well and to help them enjoy what they're doing. We should do more company retreats where fun things, but I think I'm too work. But I think they all hang out together, have good lunches together. But too much lunches sometimes. You guys are gone too long. I'm like looking around. Where's everybody? Yeah. A little too relaxed there. And just make it fun. Make everybody like each other and make it a fun thing. Especially when you're working together. You're there part of your life. You're sharing your life together. You're sharing your whole day together. So make it fun. Make it people you enjoy being around. Make it people you want to hang around with. And, don't get too hard on each other unless something big happens. But that's what I got for now about businesses. I have a question again. I guess a quick question is, hey, aloha, Indar. I've always wanted to start my own business. What's the number one thing I should do before I get started on my business? The number one thing I would say to do is to define exactly what you want to do in the business and what direction you want to do, and really keep it narrow. Don't spread it all over. Really focus on just that one thing and be great at that one thing and be the best at it. If you want to have 10 different ideas, try and dwindle it down to one. So write down 30 different ideas, circle the 10 best ones, and then think about the top 3 of those. Would be a great way to kind of dwindle down, see what you want to be good at, and focus on it for a while. And get honed in your skills, whatever it may be. Even if you work for some company or some place, just get good at what you do and really focus on what you do, and just let that grow and let that business prosper in its own way, and really enjoy what you do. Some people don't need to own their business. Some people are just fine working. I mean, the owner, the Apple CEO, he works for Apple, makes whatever, $1 zillion a year, so you don't necessarily have to be, a millionaire making a business. You can work and build and grow in a company as it grows. And that's what we're trying to do, grow our company together as a team. Deal of the week, I think we were actually just funded. We were looking for Waiaka, but I think we just funded that deal. We had some investor come in. We have 2 new flips that we're looking for. We have a small flip in Rosalie, a condo in Waikiki. We're looking for $60,000 there. We've done 2 flips in that building, so we're looking for people to invest and be partner with us on there, as well as our shopping center. We're now actually looking for investors to give off equity to, more so than just to raise capital. We have a kind of where we're going now. We know we need to build out these different offices, but it's going to take some money, and we weren't ready for it, but we know we have to do it now. So we need to bring in more investors to help us with our build out and to help stabilize the shopping center. So we'd love for you guys to be part of the shopping center and be part owners of it all. So love for you guys to be a part of all. Please like and comment, and thank you for all the questions and answers that you're going to put in the comments and questions below, because I'm going to answer all of you guys. And don't be scared to ask anything. You don't know nothing unless you ask. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Aloha. Thank you guys.